So thanks everyone for joining. Today we're going to be doing a Canva training, but first we wanted to highlight some awesome brokers that did Isaac's challenge last week, which was Christy Hall and Robin Rodriguez. So finger snaps to them for doing an awesome job. I'm going to include their videos in the highlight or in the recap email so you guys can check them out yourself. But for the Canva training, I'm going to share my screen and I don't need audio for it, so I can just share. Okay, this is Christy. So I feel like at this point we're all like relatively familiar with Canva. This is, I think, I want to say our third Canva training that we've done. But I always think it's a good idea to like come through and like just kind of reiterate some things, because if you're not using Canva on like a daily basis, then that can be kind of like, it can be kind of challenging to jump right back into it. Does anyone have anything before I get started that like they really want to see from Canva that maybe like you want to learn more about, or you want to see like how to make a flyer or anything like that? Cool. Easy enough. Okay. So a couple of things that I wanted to show you guys is I think we're just going to start with like a basic listing template, because I would say that that's probably like the number one thing that you guys use is just a listing template. So when we go to create a design, mine probably is going to look a little bit different than yours, just because I am constantly using Instagram and Facebook layouts or sizes. But if you simply type in Instagram, it'll come up with Instagram portrait, square, all that good stuff. And so usually you want to be using, if it's just a standard post, you want to be using that Instagram post square format. You also have the option to fit it as a reel or a story. One thing I would say about typing a design size in is just make sure that it's right. Because specifically for Facebook banners, if you're going in here and you're making a Facebook banner, the size that Canva has is actually too big. So just make sure that it's the right size. You can also always click custom size and put it in exactly how you want. This goes pixels, inches, millimeters, and centimeters. So just know what measurement you guys are using. But for right now, we're just going to do a Instagram post, a square. And this is your standard Instagram post size. Something I really wanted to touch on that I feel like a lot of agents maybe aren't using enough is this template section. It's awesome, you guys. You can search for just about anything. So if I had an open house, I can type in open house and there are a ton of templates for you guys to choose from, and you can edit those and make it your own, which is super helpful, especially if you don't want to start from complete scratch on a blank white screen. I will say that some of these probably won't be available to you if you are not paying for Canva Pro. So anything that has this little crown on it, you'll see it says Pro. We do pay for Canva Pro. So if you ever want one of these Pro designs, you can always reach out to me and I'm happy to kind of design it for you. But you can see there's a ton of them that doesn't have that, like this one down here, these three right here. So just a ton of stuff that you guys are able to use and grab. This is very similar to if you guys have used the One Design Creative Studio. Using a template is really similar to that, where you're going to take the template and then you're just going to make some basic edits with the photos, the information on there, and then obviously replacing a couple pictures and your, general real estate information. Another great tab for you guys to be aware of is this Elements tab. I use this Elements tab all the time. You can use there's pretty much everything that you could ever want. So if I wanted to type in open house again, just to show you guys all of the things that they offer. So there is just a ton, and you'll see this bar like continuously get smaller as I scroll down. But there is just a ton of open house materials that you guys can use. There's some like little, MP4 videos like this that you could use, or this little house with a heart, that's not Pro. You guys are free to use that. And I will say that if you want to use something that is from Canva Pro with the basic plan, you still have the option to use those things. But when you go to download it, Canva is going to require that you purchase that particular item. So if I use this and I didn't have Canva Pro, it might be like $1 or $2 if I wanted to go download it. Then it would ask me like for credit card information, make sure that I've paid for it, and then you're free to download it from there. So I'm just going to show you guys really quick because I know a lot of us have been kind of like wanting to do more of our own basic like listing templates. So I wanted to kind of run through that with you guys and just show you my process so that you guys can kind of play with it yourselves. I will say when it comes to design stuff, the more you do it and the more you work at it, the better it will become. So it's kind of like that practice makes perfect thing. You just keep practicing at it and it will get better. Doesn't necessarily mean that the first thing you create has to be amazing. Like, don't put that pressure on yourself. We all started somewhere. So the first thing I usually do when I'm starting with a new listing post is I choose the basic color of the background. Usually I go for a black or white. One, because that matches our Realty One group colors, but also when you have like a different color, it can like be kind of almost overbearing. So like if I just went in here and just put this orange, like unless I'm doing a Halloween post, like this can be kind of a lot to look at. You're free to do that. There are plenty of posts that you're going to use this bright orange for. I personally, though, for listing posts specifically, will choose a black or a white. Also in Elements, I'm just going to type in house because this is how I normally create a listing template when I just put in a random picture of a house. So we'll use this one. And usually I kind of just put it where I want and I extend here. One thing I will say that I've seen a lot of people do is they will extend from the sides, which is fine if you have a photo like this, but you'll see if you double click on that photo, this is all you're cropping out. So it's a good idea to just, as a basic rule of thumb, take it from the diagonal because then you're not cropping out any of the picture. Then usually I move into something like a line, and you can see there's just a ton of lines to choose from. I'll just pick a basic straight line. Up here, you'll be able to change the colors of that line, and you'll also be able to change, you can have a dotted line, a dashed line, and then you'll be able to say if you want it rounded endpoints. So you'll see the endpoints, not really on this one, but you can see that they'll become a little rounded at the end. And then the line weight, so if I wanted a really big line, I could do 15 or something, but if I wanted something small and dainty, then 5 is pretty good. And then usually I'll just kind of line the photo. It just kind of depends on what listing, what you want your guys' listing photo to, or like what you want your listing to end up looking like. So you'll see, I mean, I've made a ton of listing posts. You guys all pretty much have different ones that I've created for our ROG turnkey pages. So you'll see it's all part of the process. So if you get to this point and you're like, wow, this looks like crap, like it's okay. Just making that trial and error is like the most important thing. If you are going to make edits, so like, let's just say for now, here, I'll add a frame. So this would be where I want to put my agent, right? And I want that to be gold. So I'm just going over to my uploaded files here, and you can always upload your own pictures, of course. Now I'm going to take a smaller circle and I'm just going to put that over the top because this is what's going to create that gold outline for me. And in my Elements tab, I'm just typing in agent just because this is my lovely little agent that I use for mock-up posts, and I've named her Sarah Holmes because I like puns. Okay, so if I have something like this, and like, let's say I don't really like the way this is turning out, and I kind of want to change some things on here. The number one thing that I would suggest to you guys is to come up here and hit this little duplicate page button, because that way any edits you make on this page will not be reflected up top, and you can always come back to that other design. Canva also offers like a couple like really quick editing tools for you. So if you click on an image and click edit image, You can change the filter. You can do a couple of other things, you know, just to make it look nice, like auto enhance, auto focus, all that good stuff. But the one that I most commonly use is that background remover. This is a pro item, so just remember that if you are using the basic Canva subscription, you will have to pay for that if that's something you want to do. Although I will say, like, there are quite a few like just online programs that you guys can use in order to like remove a background from a photo. So if I wanted to, you know, make my little Sarah Holmes stand out a little more, it's a very big photo. But now you can see I still have this option for myself, and then I have this one as well. So like that's important, I think, is duplicating things. I think Kim knows very well my process when I am creating designs. So I'll show you because I have my October recruiting up right now. Okay, so like this design specific, or like this has 41 pages in it. And you can see like some of them are just like, they're not it, right? But I just go through and I just keep creating. It's all trial and error until I get something like this, right? So just keep working at it, keep copying pages, and you'll see like this design was not the first one I did. I had like 3 or 4 in here. I must have gone through and deleted them because sometimes I will do that. Oh, here's like one of them is I had this, which I didn't end up using, but it's all trial and error. So like the more you copy and change and tweak those little things, eventually you'll get to the end product that you're happy with. So just remember that is just keep working forward. The other thing I will suggest, so like, let's say you've completed your listing design and you've posted it and everything's good and you really like the way that one turned out, and now you have a new listing that you want to create a template for. Same thing that we're doing with the duplicating pages here. You're going to go up to File, and my biggest suggestion is to make a copy. You'll know that you've made the copy when your title of your design, so if I name this like Sarah Holmes, the title of the design will say copy of Sarah Holmes, and you'll know that that copy has been made. The reason that I say that is because there are a lot of times that like, so I make copies for everything, and there are a lot of times where you like the way like a listing looks with like a certain home, and then if you just change that listing like completely directly in your original template, then you can't go back and like pull that same template and use it as like part of your portfolio for a pre-listing packet or a buyer's packet or something like that. You would have to like redesign it again. So might as well just make the copy so you have all of it in there. And the basic plan allows you to make as many designs as you want. So you might as well keep them. Let's see. I also wanted to touch on, so like, yeah, obviously we didn't finish that listing post. If you guys want me to go back to that, let me know. I'm just gonna pull up, since Christy is here, I'll pull up Christy's if I can find her little name. I will use Devin. Devin's right here. Okay, so for flyers, we have basic flyer templates that I sent out to you guys like a little while ago, that I created some new flyer templates for us because our old ones were just, you know, getting old. So I made some new ones for us. So this is our new flyer template. There's 3 photos behind, and you can see I use that background remover to remove behind you. So if you ever want something like this shared with you, I can totally do that. And then I'm just going to show you really quick how to replace photos and really basic stuff. So I always, again, make a copy because that's important. And that way you have both designs so you're not messing with one design over the other. Super simple things that you can replace. You can always copy the address directly from the MLS and then paste it into here. Just select it. So I'll use Isaac's listing really quick. So I'm just Control-C, and then I am Control-V there. And then sometimes you have to delete some spaces, but that's it. And then, of course, you're going to replace listing price and marketing remarks same way. But the photos are probably the most important part. So, for example, once you upload the photos, so you'll just click Upload Files and you'll upload your zip file of photos. then you'll be able to just drag and drop like that. One thing that I've noticed is if a file is in like or a photo is in a circle frame. So if we had this like circle frame here for whatever reason, and we have this, sometimes people don't really know how to edit and take this photo out. All you have to do in order to take the photo out is right click it and click detach image. After the image is detached, you can move it around. The one thing I will say that I have noticed is that you can't like place this photo from, like I can't take this photo on the flyer and put it into here. I would have to delete it and then come, oops, sorry, that's what happens when you just click a photo. I just have to drag it again. The other option for that is to just take it and line it up, and you'll see these little purple marks, the lines that are popping up on my screen here. So I'll know right when it hits the top, and then I can just drag it this way. Super simple. All right. Okay. And then other than that, so if you guys ever want anything shared with you, I can totally do that. So sharing is a little different than just sending you the flyer. So if you guys ask me for a flyer, chances are I will download it and I will just send it to you. And you guys are free to use that. But if you ever want a flyer just like shared with you via Canva so that you can fill in the photos yourself, that's perfectly fine. Just let me know and I'm happy to share it with you. The other thing I would say when I am making a new listing post or a new listing flyer, generally speaking, bathrooms and like laundry rooms aren't like the cutest photos. Especially if you can see like these two photos are much taller than the ones throughout. So if I like look at that, you can see how much is actually cropped out of the photo. I only use photos here that like actually kind of fit and it looks all right. Like this table, we don't really need this wall in half of the window. It's not a big deal. So like be cautious of what photos you're putting up top and in different like sized boxes. But like bathroom photos, like I wouldn't put a bathroom photo here, right? Unless like the bathroom has been recently remodeled or something, that's always good. Like this is like kind of a nicer photo of a bathroom, I think. But in general, I would say like, especially on listing flyers, maybe not so much on posts, but on flyers and stuff, really try and keep it to like really nice photos you have of the house, right? Like kitchens, people love kitchens. I love kitchens. So I always put the kitchen like 2 or 3 photos in. And usually up front, I won't do like a kitchen, I'll just do like the house out front, or maybe like the front room. Does that make sense? Is everything making sense so far? Perfect. Okay, back to our listing post here. So usually on here, I think it's important to have like new listing or closed or something to kind of show so that your client or potential client isn't dependent on the description, right? Because descriptions can be a lot longer than what you can post on like a picture. I think visuals are like way better. So generally speaking, I'll do something like new listing, and then I'll just kind of like put it up in the corner, make it a little bigger, and do something so that it looks nice. One thing you will notice that you want to use a lot of the time is a drop shadow or something of the sort. To do this, you're just going to click effects and you're going to click shadow. And if you want to change the text color, you can change the text color over here. Obviously, like that is not exactly what we want. So if I change this to like an 80 drop shadow, you can read it a little better. Chances are I probably wouldn't use white on white clouds, but hey, for the time being, that works. So putting something like new listing, and I've been kind of impartial to the just closed instead of sold. I don't really know why. That's just something, I think it looks a little better, especially if you have a post like this where you're writing out new listing. I think when you have the same template and you're doing a sold post, sometimes just closed looks a little nicer than sold. It just really depends on the template you're using. You can also select multiple items by dragging your mouse just like this, just clicking and dragging across the items that you want. And then I am holding shift and using my arrow keys to bring the photo up. Does that make sense? You can always find, if you guys don't have our fonts uploaded, so you can see I have all of the fonts uploaded. If you don't, you can always click on upload a font and upload there. Let's see, trying to think of anything else you guys might need to know.
Hey, Rachel, the
yeah.
fonts that you just had, so did you get that from the ROG, like our branding?
Our branding site?
Yeah, so and then, so like you downloaded that like to your computer and then you uploaded it through Canva?
Yep, that's it.
Okay, awesome, thank you.
So if you go to, that's a good question. If you go to branding.myrealty or branding.realityoneGroup.com, and then I believe it's in one of two. Let's see. Yeah, okay. So it's in our styling resources. If you click get font, it'll download for you.
Okay.
And then once you've downloaded it, it will just, automatically throw into your downloads on your computer. And then you come over here and you have to go to the actual font section. This is like the easiest way I've found. And then you click upload a font, you click it, and then it will upload for you. And the best part about this is that you'll have a little section in your font that says uploaded fonts. So you can see like, if you guys see like the font that you guys use for your branding, it's probably in here if we had to go grab it somewhere else.
That's so awesome. I had no idea you could do that. Also, sorry, I'm gonna ask another question. So you know how like you just moved up the whole entire picture, like your lines, your picture. Okay, wait, so what did you do?
So all you're gonna do, if you want to select multiple, so there's actually a couple of ways to select multiple elements. Number one, you can click on the outside of and just hold your click and just drag across the elements that you want to select. And then you'll see they're all selected. The other option is to click an element, hold down your shift key, and then select the other elements you want. And you'll see all those are selected as well.
That's always been like the biggest pain is like, because then everything separates and I didn't even know you could do that.
Yep, you can definitely select multiple, which I think it took me a while to figure it out too. And then this is one thing that I've been struggling with when I've been using the One Design Creator Studio, because you can select multiple elements, but it's the control key instead of the shift key. And that always confuses me because I'm like, wait, like, how do you do that? And you can't like drag like this. I think this is like super simple, especially if you're just grabbing like a couple of things. That's my way of doing it.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
That's gonna save me a lot of time.
Like, it's so funny. Yeah, no, you're fine. It's so funny. It's always like like some simple thing that you're like, wait, I could have been doing this the whole time.
I know. Like what? Even like the tech, like the fonts and stuff. I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna go in there and I'm gonna download everything and upload everything. I'm like really excited.
Yeah. And I will say, you guys, like this template section is awesome. Like I will get so many, even if you're not using these templates, looking for like ideas is really helpful. So if you go in here and you're like, oh, like I kind of like this idea, but I don't like the spider webs. Like usually what I'll do is I will select, like maybe I don't like the spider web. So I'll just click the font and then I'll go to elements and type in spider web. And then I'll like get something else over here, which I think is really cool. Like it's a nice way to be able to like be creative without actually having to start from complete scratch. I guess another thing to mention is this little button up here is your transparency. Sometimes I like to make things like more transparent. I would move that down. Also with the templates, I think this is important as well. when you have a template, a lot of the time the text, you can see, like, I can't just grab one text box. There's 3. So all you have to do is come up to this top right and click ungroup. And now I can move these individually. And if you ever want something grouped, you can do the same thing. Just group them up here. Also on that, when you're talking about text, or like a post in general, you can animate things, which is kind of cool. You'll see me do that a lot on our anniversary post. So if you want your text to do something like pop, I guess you can do it that way, which is fun. And you can always make the entire post do that as well by selecting the background. Okay, now that I'm thinking about it, I'm spacing on what else I could teach you. Oh, this is one cool thing that I have used a little bit, especially like now after COVID and everything, people relied on QR codes a lot. QR codes are provided to you through Canva. So instead of going through like a random QR code generator, I actually have been using this a lot. So I'm just going to use your page, Christy. If I wanted to create a QR code to Christy's or Facebook page, I'm just going to come up to the URL and copy it. And then if I go back to my QR code, all I have to do is paste the URL with Command V, and then I will generate the QR code. And if you scan this, it would take you to Christy's page. There are a lot of sites out there that you have to like pay for a QR code, or, you know, that's super virusy. And so I'm just letting you guys know, if you want seriously nothing more than a QR code, like come to Canva. It's free, it's basic. I believe you get it with the basic plan. So you can like generate QR codes super, super easily. And I know a lot of you guys have been kind of leaning on that. So I think that's super important to share with you guys.
Which is cool because like then you could create your own flyers and like create QR codes to landing pages for like you know, what's the value of my house or my home buyers. Yeah, it's awesome, like endless.
I think that is probably like one of the best, because that's like a new addition to Canva that they've made within the last few months. Is creating that QR code. And I'm like, that is like the easiest thing to, and you can customize it too. I mean, if you click this little drop down menu, like I can make it like red if I wanted to, like, doesn't really matter. But yeah, I think it's actually pretty cool. You can make the margins smaller, whatever you want to do. So you can totally design it the way you want, but generally speaking, the basic black and white QR code works just fine for me. So that's what I use. But I think that is a really cool thing. So if you use Canva for absolutely nothing else other than QR codes, I feel like I've done my job. Like, then everybody can get free QR codes. Okay, other than that, if you guys have any questions, I'm happy to answer them. I work on Canva all the time. So like, I feel like a lot of the time when I'm doing these trainings, I don't necessarily do a super deep dive into things because I'm like, oh, that's self-explanatory, but I understand that it's like not, I'm just in it all the time. So if you guys have any questions, please let me know, because I would love to make these Canva trainings like a relatively common thing, because I feel like with Canva and with our new One Design Creative Studio, you guys could be like really super creative if you wanted to. And of course, I'm always here to help, and I'm always here to like design things for you as well. But I mean, I see like, for example, Christy does a really nice job on her social media. And I think that a lot of people kind of look to Christy and be like, oh my gosh, how is she doing that? Canva and One Design can really help get the ball rolling on those things. So if you want to get that process started, this is a great first step. It's just kind of learning how to use the platform. And like I said, practice makes perfect. Don't think that your first design is going to be super top tier, because I was looking back at some designs that I made 2 years ago and they are not cute. So you guys, it's okay. Like, we all have been there, but it's better to start somewhere. Can I answer any other questions now?
This has been super, super helpful. I especially like the your new listing flyer that you have. That's really cute.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
Craig wanted a new listing flyer and he was like, I want it to look luxury. And I was like, okay. And so I ended up with a bunch of different listing flyers. That's not the one he used, but like I gave him a bunch of different ones. But that was one of the ones I had ended up designing in the process. And I was like, okay, like this is really cute. We should use this for all of our agents.
Yeah, for sure. It looks like rich people stuff. Yeah.
Rich people stuff. Yeah. Well, I mean, I am from the Hava, so.
Oh.
All right. All right. Well, if there's no other questions, then I am all set.
Thank you so much. I
got a totally random thing to ask. I know there's not a lot of people on this call, but Rachel, maybe you can mention something in the recap email. We have a sticker that needs to get like a big sticker that goes around our screen at the office that goes on the window, but it's like vinyl sticker that you put on. And like, I don't know if you've ever done those, but if you do it just a little wrong, it's all messed up. Does anyone know someone who, I'm not asking for free, I'm saying know someone who we could hire to do it, who like is competent at like putting a sticker on straight and neat? And anyways, if you think of somebody, I don't even know what kind of person would do that, but we need somebody.
Hi, I'm a sticker applying company. I apply stickers. That's it.
I think I'm going to call like our sign company and see. Well, Chrissy, I don't know. Maybe because your dad has a sign company.
I could ask him. I know. I was like thinking actually, because like my friend has a store, and like I was like, is her storefront painted or is it vinyl stickers? I'll reach out and ask her. I'll ask my dad too.
No immediate rush. It's just, I'm not going to do it. I can't
even do my phone. I mean, like I get bubbles in my phone, so I can't even imagine.
That's exactly my concern. I bet they have tools and stuff to make it easier too. So if someone thinks of somebody, and if someone thinks of someone can text me, that would be super helpful. And again, I'm not asking for free. We're happy to pay someone. I don't even know where to start.
Yeah. Okay, sounds good.
Cool. All right. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you. Have a good day.
Yes, have a good rest of your day.
Bye.
Bye.